Welcome to The Journey with author, speaker, and evangelist Marlena Compston. Marlena seeks out guests that have a moving testimony to share in their faith journey. Marlena's faith call is to set the captives free, and she shares her faith along with hope in the Lord Jesus Christ. She is real, raw, and authentic. Marlena longs to give the opportunity for others to open up about their own struggles along with their victories. So please welcome the host of The Journey, Marlena Compston.
Welcome to The Journey. My name is Marlena Compston, and I'm so glad you're here with me today. I am so grateful for this platform of the podcast with Bold Brave. And today we are going to take a lighter look at something that will be fun, informative, and it's especially for all of you that have either written a book and are authors, or you are wanting to write a book. So with that said, I want to welcome in our guest, Robert Lane. There you are. Hello, Robert. Good to have you here.
Good to be here. Thank you so much for having me on your show. It's a
You
pleasure.
bet. You bet. Typically, it seems lately people have been reaching out to me and want to be on the podcast, which is so awesome. But I found you because we both podcast with Bold Brave.
Yeah, that we do. My show is Thursday nights.
Oh, there you go. I forgot what time that it was. What time is it at on Thursdays?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
Perfect. Okay. Well, let's dive in because you have such a fantastic career that we can talk about. And then you decided to start your own gig. And I know it's going amazing. So, Robert, I'm just going to give it to you. Go ahead and tell us about what you've got going on out in Sedona. And by the way, those listening, Robert named this podcast, Every Voice Has Its Own DNA. Explain that to us, Robert.
Oh, absolutely. As an audiobook coach and producer, it's one of the things I do with my coaching business. I did start off the business as a career coach and life coach, and I still do that, but more not really with one-on-one coaching, but going out and doing speaking engagements because I feel I can reach more people that way and share the career and life coaching knowledge that way. But in regards to your voice having your own DNA, that's really a crucial thing because we all are unique individuals. That's what makes us who we are. That's what I always say. That's what makes you, you. And it's really as important in regards to authors who want to narrate their own audiobook. So as an audiobook coach and producer, that's what I do. I help authors set up their own recording space and teach them the fine art of how to do a great narration and then get them published on Audible, Amazon, and Apple. But the key point is that, and I believe this and I'm a big advocate of it, that every nonfiction author needs to narrate their own audiobook because it is your story. It is your unique voice. And that voice stamp, that DNA is already stamped into your written word. When somebody reads your book, they sense your personality, they sense your sense of humor, and that's part of your author brand. So when you narrate your own audiobook, you're just bringing it to life in just another form. And your voice is really an intricate part and an integral part of who you are as an author. That's part of who you are. And so loving and embracing this wonderful sound that comes out of your body is really important. And Marlena, that is something that I do deal with a lot with authors who go through the audiobook coaching program that I teach. And that is confidence in their own voice, believing that they have what it takes to narrate their own audiobook. And I 100% believe that authors do. Absolutely.
I love that, Robert, as you know, because I'm considering the same. My own book, Love Illuminated, is a devotional. it seems like my audience is more women, of course, but it certainly has been. I've had a couple that said it was just a great devotional for a couple to work through.
Mm.
And then I was on Dr. Greg Williams' show Sunday night, and bless his heart, he was just raving about my book, and he said you can journal, and it's just so great. But so you just said something that I want to touch back on, that it is so if I'm sitting here working with you, you're working with me, I'm reading my first chapter of Glimpse of Glory. It's really special to me because I remember when I wrote that. I remember all the touch points of the Holy Spirit showing me different things. There's not as much, I'm going to call it pain in this devotional, my pain in this devotional. I don't really touch on trauma, but I touch on difficult times and things like that.
Mhm.
So I can see what you're talking about, that as I would be reading the first chapter and the second chapter, that it is truly personal for me. And also because I was a recruiter in oil and gas for years, I also understand your point about confidence.
Mhm.
I used to, as I would help people with their resume writing and I would interview them myself, there are so many people, they lack the confidence to present themselves in an interview. And I would basically do that. I would build them up to say, you have great talent here. Like
Yeah.
you have great skills. And so that actually is what you're saying, is that you're building their confidence about their book and about their gifting so that they can go audio and present their book in their own voice. So I get
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely. And again, everybody. Well, the way I define an author brand is an author brand, because you are a brand. You've written a book, you published a book. I consider you an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur. It doesn't matter whether you wrote your book at nights and weekends, but you got it published. You did it. So that's such a great thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're fortunate enough to write for a living, that's awesome. That's a great thing.
Hey, let's talk about that just a second. You know very well, people are so impressed when you write a book, which I'm like, gosh, I've been writing my whole life. So to me, it's not really a big deal. It's just now it's in black and white. Um, but publishing is not the easiest thing. And so many that I know have had a bad experience. I did as well.
Mhm.
And it's kind of being baptized by the or in the fire. So I really like the fact that your program, it is so clear. Like it is so, I'm going to say black and white. It is very, for one, as you and I talk, you are right there the whole time. You are guiding through the whole process. So again, um, first I want to ask, because we've got questions, why should nonfiction authors narrate their own audio book? Which I think you really have just explained that it does give them that voice for their own book. What's one of the biggest issues you help authors with as an audiobook coach?
Right. Yeah. As I say, every author, especially nonfiction, needs to tell their story because, again, it's your story. And and a lot of books that I've worked on have been journeys and of some traumatic experiences. And I mean, the thing is, it's your experience. No one can express it the way you can because you lived it.
Right.
And even having there's a lot of great narrators out there, of course. There's a lot of professional narrators, but again, it's their interpretation, not yours as the author. So there are subtleties, there are nuances about how you talk, how you present yourself, and of course the experience that a professional narrator, they're not going to be able to connect to that because
Right.
this is very, very personal. And even if it's like you have devotional, something positive, doesn't, like you say, doesn't always have to be traumatic, but still bringing that energy, that positivity. And
Personal. Mhm.
that's actually the secret sauce of a great audiobook. is when you
I
bring
like
in those intangibles, right? The emotion, the energy, those feelings, those things you don't physically touch, but you can emotionally feel. That's what
right.
makes a great audiobook. And only the author can present that.
I love that. When I write like I talk. Do most people? Have you?
I think I think so because again, another key point is that you have to be your true authentic self. You need to be yourself. And that's where the whole author brand comes in. Everything that encompasses who you are is your author brand. The way you were brought up, your belief systems, your habits, your personality, your sense of humor, all of that, and your voice, of course, is what encompasses who you are as an author and as a brand and as a human being.
Right.
So embrace that. That's a wonderful thing, and that's what allows you to stand out in the crowd because that again is what makes you unique.
Yes. About how much time, Robert, does it take from day one signing with you to the product of the audio tape?
So if day one, when someone signs up, the course is designed to be able to set up your recording space and record and then get your audio edited, which needs to be done. We can talk about all that technical stuff later if you want. But the course is designed to be a 6-week program. So by the end of the 6 weeks, you've already recorded your audiobook. And as an audio editor, which I've been doing for years and years and years, you don't have to find somebody to clean up your audio or to make sure it meets the exact specifications for publication. And I handle all that, and then I do all the uploading for you, so that you don't have to worry whether Audible is going to reject you for some weird thing. And I've seen that happen. So again, it's designed for 6 weeks. Now, I understand also that life happens,
Right.
and if it does take longer, if that's okay. And this is why I only work one-on-one with authors, because it is a personal journey, and that way I can really tailor to their specific needs. If it takes a little longer, that's okay.
Sure. I like that. I really like that. It's a one-on-one situation. Well, we're already at our first break. We're learning about um, basically doing your audio book. And what a great thing to do. I'm so excited about doing mine. Robert, we're going to take our break and we'll be right back.
Mike Zorich, a 3-time California state champion in Greco-Roman wrestling at 114 pounds. Mike, blind since birth, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. He was a 6-time national placer, including 2 seconds, 2 thirds, and 2 fourths. He also won the Veterans Folk Style Wrestling twice at 152 pounds. In all these tournaments, he was the only blind competitor. Nancy Zorich, a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions in several states. Her father, a commercial artist who shared his instruments with his daughter and helped her fine-tune her natural abilities, influenced her decision to follow in his footsteps. Ms. Zorich has enjoyed a fruitful career doing what she loves. Listen Saturday mornings at 12 Eastern for the Nancy and Mike Show for heartwarming stories and interesting talk on the BBM Global Network.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back to The Journey. My guest today is my podcast friend here on Bold Brave TV, Robert Lane. And Robert, exciting, those of us that are authors or want to be authors, This is such, it's intriguing. It's something that many of us, it's unknown. So, and this is your business. Go back for a moment and tell us, like, where'd your career start? How did this happen?
Well, my background basically is I worked 30 plus years in the entertainment industry in various facets of the business. And when I started my career, I was an audio guy. I always loved audio. That was my thing. So my first job was working in radio. And so I did that for a while. But then
Know
it did
that.
more. Yep. And then
Were you a DJ?
I'm sorry?
Were you a DJ?
I hosted talk shows and music shows and did production and all sorts of things. But that eventually led to working at 20th Century Fox on the studio lot in Los Angeles for the last 14 years of my career. But that was more on the corporate side, being a feature project manager, overseeing post-production for their features. But then when Disney bought Fox, and that was a big acquisition, corporate takeover, we knew we were going to be affected, and we were. So in March of 2020, I met with the Disney lawyers, and they gave you two choices, which was you work for Disney now, you no longer work for Fox, or see ya, you're fired. So, and those were your choice. Well, those were their choices. You didn't have a choice. So I was on the first round of firings. So I knew it was time to reevaluate my life and career.
And you realize that is right when the pandemic started.
Oh yeah, my last day officially at Fox Studios was on June 30th of 2020. So it was no job,
So
and we're deep into that
again,
pandemic.
because I was a recruiter, in HR and oil and gas, did it take you a minute? Like, did you just take a little time off, regroup, and go, I'm going to start my own business?
I definitely had choices to consider. One would be retire early, but I thought, nah, it's not feasible. I don't want to do that. The other thing is, audio or the entertainment business is all I've known all my life, basically. So, of course, another choice would be, well, just stick to that path and get another job. But Disney, they fired hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, and good qualified people. So they're all clamoring for these very small, finite amount of jobs. And there are two things. One, I just did not have the desire to go back into the corporate world. And the second thing is I didn't want to dive into that rat race of clawing for a job. And
Sure.
I wanted to do something with more purpose and something, to be fulfilling. And so I thought, with all the experience that I've had, I'm going to create a business. And I started Robert Lane Coaching, and that's where I said I want to be a career coach and life coach because I want to help others navigate through their work environment, really understand that there is a balance of work life and that you can attain it. And here are some skills and tools that you can utilize to achieve that goal. So I thought, okay, that's what I want to do. And so that's how Robert Lane Coaching started.
And I picked up on the word you said, purpose.
Yes.
I have told people, and sorry for those of you that do have a corporate job, here's the truth, guys. You could put in 40 years of hard labor and pour your whole heart, soul, sweat, tears, you name it, prayers. Once you leave and that door hits your bottom walking out, they may not ever think of you again. And that's just the truth of the matter. And nowadays, people don't even stay anywhere 40 years. It's very rare if anybody's there 5 or 10 years. It's just also the truth of the matter. That's just the world we live in now.
That's so true.
That's the point of doing something that is purposeful. It makes me think of a chemical engineer that I hired years back, 10, 15 years ago. Long story short, he was eliminated. And he wound up starting his own construction business. He's married with, I believe, 4 children, and he's just going at it and probably happier than he's ever been in the corporate world. He made great money. But you know what? That great money ended in one day.
Yeah.
And now, boss. And same with you. Now you're your own boss with purpose.
Yeah, I feel that what I do now, helping authors create audiobooks in their own voice, going out and doing speaking engagements around the country, talking about career and life coaching. What I do now is the most fulfilling thing I've ever done in my entire career,
I
period.
love that. I love that. So let's say, okay, here's our next question.
All right.
What is, Robert, what's the actual process? So let's say um, Joe wants to sign up with you, Robert, tomorrow. What happens?
All right. So the first thing is that I have a conversation with Joe. And I do this with every author. We have a meeting because I want to talk to the author first before we even do anything. Because I firmly believe that you need to establish a connection. And I don't like sending people to a landing page where they scroll, 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 give me your credit card. Very impersonal. And
Right.
that's not the way I operate. So I have a conversation with Joe. I find out about Joe's book, what it's all about. Maybe he has some marketing ideas, what he wants to do with his audiobook. And then we get him enrolled. If he resonates with me and I resonate with him, and we're going to be working together because I do coach one on one. So, and he's all in, awesome. Then he enrolls. So the first thing that happens is that because there's also video lessons and downloadable reference materials and all that that the
Oh,
authors have
nice.
as well. So they immediately have access to everything, in addition to our weekly one-on-one calls. So I say, go ahead and start checking out those videos. And in the meantime, what I do is that I will send Joe and I send the authors the equipment they need to set up their own recording space. And that's a professional microphone,
Right.
professional headphones. Uh, I don't believe in cutting corners, so I don't believe in sending, a cheap $100 mic off of Amazon. I send you good stuff, probably at least $400 worth of equipment, but that's part of the program, and I'm glad to do it. It's yours to keep. So Joe gets to
Right.
keep the equipment forever, so he can use it for his next audiobook or for a podcast.
Right.
So while he's waiting for his equipment, I say just go ahead and start watching the videos to get familiar with the program. And so on our first, and I consider our first meeting uh, after he gets the equipment, so we can go over step by step, make sure everything is set up correctly. So the first phase is setup and preparation. Equipment, setting up your account for publication into Audible, Amazon, and Apple. I walk you through that step by step, how to label your files, file management, all that stuff. Because when you record your audiobook, it is done in sections, and some authors may not realize that. It's not like like you grab a book and you just start narrating. It doesn't work that way. Everything is divided into sections. So for example, in the book I published, there's 14 chapters. Well, that's 14 separate audio files right there. Then you have opening credits, closing credits, introduction, foreword, prologue, epilogue, dedication. There's all these pieces of your book, but those are all separate audio files, and you record them separately. And honestly, it does make it a lot easier to do it because you don't feel overwhelmed trying to sit for hours narrating an audiobook. And
Right.
so the next phase is really doing a deep dive into what it takes to do a compelling and engaging narration. And we really talk about that. And again, it's not just, oh, hit record and start narrating. We talk about mindset. We talk about confidence, things that you can do to build that confidence and really love and appreciate your voice, how to be genuinely authentic, how to sound conversational, all these things so that you do a great narration. Now, what Joe will do is that he's going to send me a sample, it could be a paragraph of any part of his book, doesn't matter, because I want to make sure that everything sounds good. And I listen for everything: ambience in the background, what's happening between words and sentences, are there any weird sounds, is there too much mouth noise? There's a lot of things that I listen for. And if everything is great, then I give Joe the green light. Let's do it. Start recording your audiobook and start sending me the files. So as Joe's recording his audiobook, he's sending his audio files to me. And that's where the coaching hat comes off and the editor hat comes on. And then I go through step by step, in real time, with a fine tooth comb, listening to Joe's audio files that he sends me, and I will clean them up. If there's a mouth noise I can remove, I'll remove it. If there's something I can clean up, I will clean it. And once that's all done, I want to make sure that it does meet the exact specifications for publication, because if it's off in any way, it'll get rejected. And this is why I do the uploading for Joe or for the author, because
That's great, Robert.
if there's any issue, I'll know about it, and they'll tell you. And some, it could be some really small technical thing, like you're 0.3 decibels too low or something. It's like, okay, well, I know what I need to do. I go back and make an adjustment, re-output, re-upload, and make sure everything is good.
Those of you that are listening, sorry, Robert, those of you that are listening, I want you to understand, and this is why I wanted to have Robert on the show. This man knows what he's doing. Like, he is I'm going to say, perfectionist at this. He didn't just, I think I'll just do this. This is what he has really done his whole, career. And he knows exactly what he's doing. And he knows exactly how to bring you the very best and the finest product. And you are your product, right, Robert?
Oh, absolutely.
I never planned on putting my name and face on things. You may not have in the past either, but it is what it is. And those of you that are authors that want to, or you're considering taking this journey with Robert, just know this man has this figured out to a fine, he goes through it with a fine tooth comb. And I think that's spectacular, Robert, the product that you have put together.
Thank you, and I appreciate that. There's other companies out there, and you're right. They're just about numbers and making money and whatever, and they'll say, "Oh, here, we'll run it through a restoration program and clean it up." But in my book, that's not good enough. What if there's a slurred word or a mispronunciation or something? It's not going to catch it. And again, please, authors, do not cut corners. Don't think AI is your solution, because that is a misrepresentation of who you are. It's computer generated, and it is soulless. Where is your unique personality? It's gone. So don't even go that route. Piece of advice.
That's really good too. And I've done a little bit of AI with a little bit of writing, just maybe a post on LinkedIn or something, and not bad. I kind of like it, but I would not consider doing that for a book, because really what you're talking about, it completely takes away the authenticity, and it's not our voice. So, well, here we are again at break. Give us just a moment to go into break, and we'll be right back with Robert Lane.
Dr. RC will share extraordinary resources and services that promote educational success, as well as making a difference in the lives of all social workers, as well as the lives of children, adolescents, and teens of today. She will have open discussions addressing many of the issues that we face about our youth, and how being employed in the uniquely skilled profession of social work for over 18 years has taught invaluable lessons through her personal experiences. She will also provide real-life facts, examples, and personal stories that will confirm that why serving as a child advocate is extremely beneficial when addressing the needs of the whole child. Listen live to Dare to Soar, Saturdays, 10 a.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network, and tune in radio as Dr. RC will provide thought-provoking information that will empower, encourage, and strengthen students, families, and communities across our nation. You can also visit her at soarwithkatie.com. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness: Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them. We discover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies. Find settings that allow them to be the most productive and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Welcome back to The Journey. I'm Marlena Compston, and my guest is Robert Lane. Robert, this is really good stuff. And on the break, we were just talking about marketing, our book and, the publishing and how it can be so expensive to publish. And as I was saying, we pay our copy editor and our editor, and we pay to have our book designed, and on we could go. And of course, the marketing. But you have this wonderful marketing tool, and you and I both know it's just not everybody that has their audiobook put together. And people, if you're going to consider doing this, I highly recommend that you check out his website, that you schedule a call with Robert. I don't ever bring someone on the show and say, check them out, go work with them unless I really believe in this. Robert, by the way, tell us how to contact you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you can just go to my website, robertlanecoaching.com. Pretty simple. robertlanecoaching.com. There's plenty of little buttons there that says book a call. And you will schedule a call. It's my calendar, personal calendar. You and I will talk personally because you work with me. I don't send you to, I got this big team of people or whatever. No, you and I work together and book your call.
Yes.
And then the other thing is, if you scroll down on that homepage, there's little clips of other authors who've done their audiobook. And they're not professional speakers, but you know what? They did such an awesome job. And I'm really proud of all those authors. And you can hear little clips as well. But yeah, the first step is just schedule a call.
I've got to do that. And again, I'm just going to give you my own little testimony of Robert and I had our call. And he is so personable. And he thinks very logically. He's very precise, but it's not, you don't feel put into a category. You don't feel stifled. I think we're having a little difficulty. I'm sure Caleb will get us fixed up. He's very communicative. It's just he listens very well. So I highly recommend that you just go ahead and set up a call and discuss with him about getting your book on audio.
Yeah, I'd love to speak with you. And, I'm not a used car salesman. I'm not going to high pressure you. Again, we need to resonate with each other because we're working together. This is a business relationship, and I want you to feel comfortable, especially with some of the books that I've worked on that are traumatic experiences, people growing up with trauma, people who've been sucked into religious cults, people who've gone through cancer journeys. I mean, that's some pretty intense stuff, and you need to feel comfortable with the person that's helping you tell your story. You're telling this very personal thing, and I want and make sure that the author feels completely safe and comfortable, and that you can trust that I'm going to do my best to make you do your best.
I like that. You and I both know podcasting like we do. I know one of the first podcasts that I did, actually, it's when I went to New York almost 2 years ago, and was with, I was interviewed by Jill Nicolini. And I remember them saying, you can look at the tape, and if there's anything you want edited, let us know. So not knowing better, I went through and listened, and every I was wanting them to edit out. Come to find out, Tom, the producer, hi Tom, he was like, oh, that's no problem. Like even Oprah or, all of the big ones, they've got the ums and the ahs. So, but I misunderstood that. But again, let's go back to the fact that here you are listening to the playback, and you're going to take out anything that doesn't make it smooth. You're going to make sure that the product of their audiobook is spot on.
Absolutely. Whether, as I mentioned about mouth noises, and it's usually the mouth noises. And so I'll go through do the whole edit, and then I do a final output, and everything is done in real time. So and when I do the final output, that's where and I follow along in their book. And if and there's times where I'll catch a word. Again, this is why you don't send it to some place that runs it through a program because they're going to miss it. I've had authors who said a word, but that wasn't the word that was written down. And if it I will let them know and say, was that intentional, or did you mean to say the word that's printed? Because sometimes that could change the meaning of what they were trying to say. And there have been many times where the author was, oh, glad you caught that. No, I need to say that word. So I'll have them do a little fix, and then I just pop it in, and we're good to go.
I love that. And again, that's why we want to hire you, because you've been doing this for how many years?
Uh, well, let's see. We're coming up to 3 years officially of an audiobook coach and producer. But, again, I've been audio editing, doing stuff for film and all that for years and years and years and years. So
Right.
I'm bringing that background into what I do now.
I know. I know. When I was podcasting with PBN with Steve Harper, so many times he and I were like, we're not 29 anymore, or 30 years ago. And you know how that goes, Robert. It's like, where did the time go?
Yeah.
Right? Life is so like, woo. So let's get into, let's see here. Where is the best place to distribute your audiobook? Let's talk about some marketing.
Sure.
And what
Distribution. Yeah, that's key. So you need to be on Apple. I call it the AAA. You got to be on the AAA. Audible, Amazon, and Apple. Reason being is that the general public knows Amazon. They know Audible. And people ask for a book by brand name more so than they do just saying, oh, do you happen to have an audiobook? No, I hear more people say, are you on Audible? So they're asking for it by brand name. So it is important to be on those three platforms. And then
like
that's where I
Kleenex,
publish.
right?
Now, I'm sorry?
Kind of like Kleenex. You don't say,
Yeah,
can I get a tissue paper? You say, can I get a Kleenex?
absolutely. Right. Instead of saying, can you grab me a soda for the fridge? Hey, can you grab me a Coke? Even though
Right.
you're drinking 7 Up.
Right.
Right.
So there's a shout out to Audible right there. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
It is a big deal. And those of us that podcast, it's finding out that Bold Brave puts our podcast on Audible. I mean, it's like, thank you. I had no idea until recently. So that's incredible as well. Marketing is a big deal.
Yeah, marketing is a really big deal. And again, you're not only confined to have your audiobook on Audible, Amazon, and Apple. You do need to be on there again, just for those reasons that's where people normally go. But if you have success in other distribution platforms, like maybe you want to be on Barnes and Noble, maybe you want to be on some other there's like 40 or 50 different other platforms. Even if it works for you, and this is what we talk about on our initial call about marketing, what are you doing, what works for you, where have you published your book, et cetera, et cetera. Because understanding what's going to work for you will help in regards to making more sales. Because again, you don't want to just throw it out there like throwing spaghetti on the wall and seeing what sticks. You need to have a plan. And if you're selling books in the United States, Canada, UK, Ireland, those locations, well, that's where Audible, Amazon, and Apple are distributing your audiobook anyway. So if that's the case, then you don't need to be on Rakuten or some of these other ones, because it may not be working for your marketing strategy. But if it does, then that's great, because you can do that as well. So knowing where you want to go is great. And it is an investment, obviously, writing a book, doing an audiobook. But
Sure.
again, you have this great product. And for example, in regards to the audiobook world, I have an author. She wrote about her cancer journey. And she now takes her audiobook as a calling card. That's her business card. And she goes to hospitals, cancer treatment centers, and say, I want to speak to the doctors. I want to speak to the patients. I want to tell my
Oh,
story. And she says, this is what I sound like. This is what my book. And she'll send them her audiobook along with her paperback.
oh, that's tremendous.
And she's getting speaking gigs. So again, don't think that being on Audible, Amazon, and Apple is your only place to make revenue. You need to think outside the box. Use this as a tool now, as a marketing tool, to do speaking engagements, to do book signings, to get on podcasts. I mean, there's so many other things that you can do that can generate more income. I mean, if you're doing a book signing, you're selling your book at a book signing, you're going to make way more money than you are selling your book on Amazon. I mean, that's just, that's a fact. So there are ways of making more money.
Right. Yeah, we have to learn to work. What is it? Learn to work smarter, not harder, for sure.
Yeah.
See, we're doing really good on time. What have I not asked you? What do you want to share that I haven't thought to ask you yet?
I think I'll share something that I think can help a lot of authors. And again, when you're narrating your audiobook, first of all, be in the present moment, right? Be focused. You got to be in your zone. You got to be in your zone before you hit that record button. Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about the future. Get yourself grounded and focused. And, maybe it takes a quick little 5-minute meditation, right? Just to get yourself in the right frame of mind, because you need to be in the right frame of mind before you hit the record button. The other thing is you just have to really understand, who are you talking to? And I don't mean, oh, well, I'm a weight loss coach, so my genre is, this age to this age, or I'm a career coach or a finance coach, and I talk to this audience. You need to be specific. And I ask the author, I say, who specifically are you telling your story to? Who is the person?
That's
What
good.
do they look like? Uh, you know, Friend, family, significant other, a coworker, it doesn't matter. Get a picture of them, tape it on your computer, talk to them. Because when you are telling your story and you have that specific person in mind, that's going to bring out you being more conversational. And it's
Mm,
definitely going to bring out your true authenticity, because you're telling your story to this person that you trust and you feel comfortable with. And that
mm,
comes out in your delivery.
that's really good. That's so good. Authenticity is what he's speaking of. We are already at another break, and we'll be right back.
Mike Zorek, a 3-time California state champion in Greco-Roman wrestling at 114 pounds. Mike, blind since birth, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. He was a 6-time national placer, including 2 seconds, 2 thirds, and 2 fourths. He also won the Veterans Folk Style Wrestling twice at 152 pounds. In all these tournaments, he was the only blind competitor. Nancy Zorek, a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions in several states. Her father, a commercial artist who shared his instruments with his daughter and helped her fine-tune her natural abilities, influenced her decision to follow in his footsteps. Ms. Zorek has enjoyed a fruitful career doing what she loves. Listen Saturday mornings at 12 Eastern for the Nancy and Mike Show for heartwarming stories and interesting talk on the BBM Global Network.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back to The Journey again. I'm Marlena Compston, and my guest is Robert Lane. We're talking about audiobooks, and he is the guy to hire. Robert, on break, we were just talking again about confidence. And as I was sharing, and I touched on it earlier when I was recruiting, and, I would be talking with, let's go with a top chemical engineer or petroleum engineer. And I'm telling you, they had the education. They had all the work history. They had done all the projects. They had even written different articles, for professional magazines. But they had no confidence. And I would coach them and say, see this resume? That is you. You do not have to walk into an interview with your head down like, please hire me. I just hope you might want to hire me. No, you're the goods. They need you, and they need what you bring to the table. So again, do you feel like that most every client, you do need to touch on that confidence factor?
Yeah, I think that is a common thing, and it's just a human thing. We have fears, and it really does boil down to a type of fear. So I have a little catchphrase when it comes to fear, and that is face it, embrace it, purge it, replace it.
Ooh,
So basically,
share it again.
Face it, embrace it, purge it, replace it.
Oh, I love it.
And basically, that just means that facing your fear is you're acknowledging that this fear exists. Okay, embracing the fear is when you're stripping away the layers and getting down to the root cause of why you have this fear. And I say embrace because I don't like to say confront your fears, because confront is confrontational. Confrontational is negative, and we don't want to take a negative approach to this. So, and again, journaling is good. For me, I like to talk. So I'll talk it out, it just acknowledging and embracing that, yes, this fear exists. I've stripped away the layers. This is the cause of the fear. And I'll go through the emotions of what it is. But now that I've acknowledged it and I've embraced it, the next step is to purge it. Now, obviously, when you purge, it doesn't mean it's going to disappear forever, because it may come back. But what you're doing, purging, really is just moving it aside. And then allowing the last step, which is replace it. You replace that fear with, now let's do some positive affirmations. Let's talk about great things about who you are. I have the authors, especially when it comes to their voice, list out 10 affirmations about yourself and then write them out. I love my voice. I have a great voice. I'm a great author. I'm a great narrator, and just whatever they are. And then say them. And the key is you say them until you feel them. And once you feel it, then your subconscious will believe it. And then that's where you're really going to make a mindset change. So hopefully that'll help.
Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, I just wrote that down. Face it, embrace it, purge it, replace it. I may have to write a devotion on that. And if I do, I'm going to acknowledge you. Because that transfers into what I do. I can even apply it to where I'm at in life at this very moment. That's so good. And I'm glad you shared that. So that whole mindset of, okay, number one, I've got a book, or I want to write a book. Number two, I think I want to do an audiobook. Who do I contact? Because you and I both know, even with publishers, there's 1,000. They're a dime a dozen. But Robert Lane is who you want. And again, this is why I wanted him to be here on my show, is that the man knows what he's doing. And he is going to be holding your hand through the whole process, aren't you, Robert?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Truly.
This is why I do one-on-one. I don't even do group. I do one-on-one for that very reason.
Yes, it's his passion. And I just love that. And I look forward to the process myself when it's time. So I'm going to give you, we just have a few more minutes. I want to give you a few more minutes to just share anything you want to leave us with?
Absolutely. If you are a nonfiction author and you've written a book, or you know what, maybe you wrote a book and it's a few years old. Well, let's resurrect it back to life.
Yeah.
Relaunch it as an audiobook. Because remember this, the audiobook world has been growing and expanding over the last several years and continues to do so. And you really need to be in that market and expose yourself as an author in the audiobook world, because there are people there who just do audiobooks and they may not even know you exist yet. And this is a great way to add to your arsenal of awesome products, your ebook, your paperback, your hardcover, and especially your audiobook. So definitely do it. And I'd love to speak with you and to have a conversation and get you enrolled in the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program, because you do have what it takes to do a great narration. It's your story. Nobody can tell your story better than you. You lived it, you breathed it, you experienced it. That's what makes you, you. And then my other little catchphrase, Marlena, is you are the CEO of you. So make some great business decisions and take your book to the next level.
Oh, that is so good, Robert. I appreciate you being on the show. Reach out to him. It's robertlanecoaching.com, correct?
That is correct.
Very easy, robertlanecoaching.com. So glad you joined us today on the journey. We will be back next week with my next guest. And Robert, thanks. I know Sedona is beautiful today. I'd love to be there. Good to see you. And I will
Thank you.
certainly be seeing you on our podcasts.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's been a great pleasure to be here.
Great. Thank you all for following us, and have a great week. And I'll see you next week.
This has been The Journey with your host, Marlena Compston. Tune in each week as Marlena shares her own journey from childhood trauma. She gives God all the glory for delivering her from the darkness. Her call is to help others heal from their own past, and her passion is to point them to Jesus and his salvation, mercy, and grace. Thursdays, 11 a.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave TV network, powered by B2 Studios.